Welcome, beautiful souls. Today we're exploring the ancient wisdom of the spring equinox, or also called Ostara. So this is one of the 8 sacred holy days, or we could say sacred celebration, has become known as the wheel of the year, but it's more so a truly ancient calendar system that predates all modern religions or distortions. I'm here to share a deeper significance about this time. I'm seeing this through the lens as this time right now in the Northern Hemisphere. However, we'll talk about the complementary energies, looking at and connecting to the original organic wisdom that our ancestors understood. This isn't about seeing the celebrations through a New Age lens or Wiccan lens or anything like that from my inner knowing. Those are modern interpretations of something far more sacred and, I would say, primordial. And so the celebration of the equinoxes and the solstices, among other times, goes back tens of thousands of years to honor the rhythm or the dance, the sacred rhythm and dance of our living planet. Let's swim in these energies together right now. Before we begin, it's important to note that as we discussed the spring equinox, that was technically on the 21st, but of course these energies don't just happen and go away. This is a time that we dive in and we literally can swim in these energies, because this is just one more layer on top of the other layers that I was talking to, the video that I called Energies Weaving in from the Sun and Andromeda. So check that out to see the more robust story of what's really happening in March in this time frame that we are in right now. I'm focusing on the Northern Hemisphere cycle. This is usually from the 19th to the 23rd. Those in the Southern Hemisphere, as you well know, you're currently experiencing the autumn equinox or Mabon. This traveling through the wheel of the year that we could say, it's like a rolling experience, is essentially mirrored across the hemispheres. So as what we call Northern is experiencing the spring equinox, the other half of the being is experiencing autumn equinox, or vice versa, right? So this mirroring is what we could call an organic duality, which shows how our living planet, Mother Earth, is breathing in cosmic rhythms with each of her, or Mother Earth's being, experiencing the complementary energy of the other. So this balancing mechanism, which is extremely vital to remember for many reasons. So this calendar aspect, and I've talked about this in other videos on my channel. I did a video called Truths of the Eightfold Sun Calendar. You can find it here and check that out as well in my channel. But what I mentioned in that video, and what I'll mention real quickly here, is that the current commercial calendar that we find ourselves using for the main part across this world, it was established by this Pope Gregory the Eighth, somewhere in the 1500s Common Era. Now, Pope Gregory, or his name was Hugo Boncompagnie, something like that, was a figure who celebrated atrocities like the St. Bartholomew's massacre of Protestants in France. So there's a lot of truths that we just have to see, and we have to recover this wisdom so that we can see through lies and distortions like the commercial calendar. Now, the Gregorian calendar, as it's become known, it requires a leap year every 4 years to maintain alignment to what is the question. It's fundamentally and totally inorganic. Inorganic. Not organic. Inorganic. it's just the daylight savings times for many of us. That is just one other way that humanity has been further removed from the living organic natural cycles. However, ancestors all over the world relied on observable indicators, looking at the 4 brightest stars in the sky. These are known as the royal stars. Equal lengths of the day and the night, and then the shortest and the longest days. And this is what these kinds of aspects, and there's much more than that, but these kinds of aspects is how the true eightfold solar, or we could say this organic solar calendar, what that calendar is all about. A calendar based on organic connection to cosmic energies and earthly energies, not artificial constructs. So that's important to know. The true meaning of the spring equinox, or Ostara, from my lens and knowing, and of course from experiencing, the spring equinox marks a perfect balance. So it's when it's one of those times, the equinoxes, when the literally light and dark are briefly at equal length. So before the light increases and days grow longer than nights. But it's so much more than just a date on a calendar or a season. Those are aspects, but they're not the entirety. So really, it's a very powerful magnetic energies, both of cosmic and earth. And it's where life is literally springing forth with abundant force. So our ancestors that held these sacred celebrations knew that the Earth's magnetic field strengthens during this time, creating a very powerful gateway for connection and renewal. Now, I will also say that there's other major things going on. The video that I talked about earlier, energies weaving in from the sun and Andromeda, go into all of those details. So definitely take a watch, because these are powerful things that happen actually each March. That's why these energies, these powerful cosmic energies and earthly energies are so vital to remember and swim into the rememberings. Ostara, another name for this, or Eostre. This actually comes from an ancient goddess name meaning dawn. So Eostre in West Saxon, Stro in Northumbrian, Eestre in Old English, Ostara in Old High German. We could go on. But they all derive from Ostran, meaning dawn, so light, or to shine, root etymology of this word. So it's about the dawn of new life, not just a day, but the beginning of a fertile, rich season where dragon energy rises in full abundance as the other side comes into rest and relaxation. So again, you have one half springing forth with life and the other half of Mama Earth saying, oh, I'm tired, I'm gonna go to sleep. So these are the kind of beautiful experiences and energies that we can tap into all together, regardless of where we are, to feel into each other's experiences during each of these sacred holy days. That was what was so powerful about them. And also, I'd like to clarify something important. While many associate the feminine with the moon, I am here, as many of us, that are really knowing and seeing and feeling that it's actually about reclamation and remembering the powerful wisdom that the truth of feminine energy is actually not of a lunar energy. The solar feminine, the sun, solar plexus. We don't have a moon plexus. We have to think about these kinds of things, right? Solar feminine that our ancestors honored is seen when we start peeling back the layers of the distortions. And these equinox celebrations, for example, are connecting us both into the solar feminine and solar masculine. That's why they're solar celebrations, right? Time of perfect balances, inner harmony, inner union within the very earth. So you could say it's a time of energetically when the earth is bringing union of her own, or Mama Earth's own. I don't really like to use his and her in these contexts because it's not really correct. So bringing the union of these sacred energies to harmonize within Mother Earth's own being. Now, Druids knew this. The real, true Celtic Druid lineage that I speak of is not the distorted Druids that came later, that are more like vile sorcerers that used evil magic and all. I'm not talking about any of that. Actually, the true Celtic Druid line faced genocide and had to go into hiding. So that's why many of the teachings had to go underground are hidden in contextual things, or hidden in the sacred lands. So many of the megalithic sites, like Avebury Henge, which I talk about quite a lot in my channel, because that is a very sacred, it's beautiful. I'm very connected into those lands, and the Silbury Hill, which is a dragon node that's very near to it. So it's a dragon node these days, we call them mounds, but it's a dragon node of energy. So the Avebury Henge and the dragon node, that's called Silbury Hill, were actually constructed to align these solar gateways of the truest of true organic expressions of these sacred energies. The sacred energies that I'm speaking of is the divine feminine, then the divine masculine energies. Again, it's not about a male and not about a female. Those are not the proper ways to peer into these energies, right? So these energies are fully coming back and being restored and rising once again. That's what's so exciting. These sacred places, again, like Avebury Henge, where I have received very powerful codes from the lands and received powerful visions and poetry and all kinds of amazing, magnificent things. It wasn't just a stone circle, right? It's sophisticated energy technology, but technology isn't the right word really either. I would say, hey, magic, divine magic. And so these places connected earth energies with celestial forces, opening gateways, receiving multidimensional information. It's really about bridging the realms, heaven to earth. But if we don't use biblical things, we could say bridging the core God world, divine realms, with other dimensional realities like earth. So these times were very sacred and honored because of that factor, because of all of the energies that you could tap into at one moment in time. And so the three realms and the three cauldrons. So this is looking at it from a very, again, my earth lineage of the Celtic Druids. For all of you who are of that spirit, of the true, genuine Druidic lineage, these three cauldron aspect is also, of course, noted in many regions all over the world. It's just expressed in different ways. Different cultures have different words, but really it's the energy centers in our body, plain and simple. And what our ancestors understood is that we exist between these three sacred realms: the sky, which Irish words, spare, the sea, verga, and the land, Tolav. These aren't just poetic concepts. They're energetic realms, essentially, that we can connect with. And so within our own bodies, we have three corresponding cauldrons or energy centers. The lower cauldron is the cauldron of warmth, and it connects to the earth star and lower three chakras, or energy centers, or I say they're stargates in our body. And this is where what has been known as Jing in Chinese methodologies, this is our life force energy. Everything is stored in this energy center. We have our willpower, we have our strength, we have our fiery passion. And so during the spring equinox, we can fill this cauldron with the rising energy of the sun, the fiery force of life springing up from the depths of the core of Mother Earth, and the sun coming in and they're meeting in this powerful synergy. And so the angle of earth and life, or the dragon energy rising from the sacred lands that surround us. And then we have the middle cauldron, or the heart chakra, right? And the sacred heart within the heart, behind the heart. This is also called the cauldron of vocation. And this is where we transmute through unconditional love while maintaining very strong boundaries. This cauldron holds our courage, its strength as in bravery to move through emotions, and of course supports our missions and purposes here. And then we have the upper cauldron, so our cauldron of knowledge and wisdom. It connects to the upper chakras and the soul star, the cosmic gateway. And this is where the wisdom resides. It's not the busy, chattering mind, but true spiritual knowledge. And so the treasures that the Druids said were held in this is the virtues like honesty, humility, and reverence. During the spring equinox, this is just yet another example or another time frame where you can connect the three centers within your being to the three realms of the sky, the land or the earth, and the sea or the waters. And so we have a really beautiful opportunity to balance, fill the cauldrons, aligning our energetic body with the rising life force of this planet. And this isn't mystical fantasy woo-woo. It's tapping into the actual energetic architecture of our multi-dimensional experience. And many of us feel very drawn into these ancient and very sacred holy days and ways because we're remembering. We're reconnecting to the wisdom that has been suppressed, but it's never been forgotten because many of us came here to help others remember. And so this new earth that so many of us seek, I want to just remind us, it's not new. It's revitalized, remineralized, healing earth that's emerging from a crusted shell. It's returning to a beauty and a purity that once was. We could say eons ago, but that linear time thing isn't really a thing, but but eons ago. And the patriarchal system, this word that we've been fed as a system, it's not just about this inequity between men and women. It's a system that was created for separation, death, and control. What it has done is purposefully disconnected us from the natural alignment of the living, organic, natural world. Not only Earth's energies, but also the cosmic or divine energies. But as the system fades and crumbles and falls away, which it is, we have an incredible opportunity to embrace these powerful energies once again. Around spring equinox and Ostara timeframe, I had a beautiful learnings for years with this temple in Ireland. Part of those were tapping into these cosmic energies. It's being a sky watcher. This would be cosmology. This is the ancient art of observing the living natural world, which is a celestial energy around this time of year. And Ireland's oldest known deity, for lack of better words, who existed as part of a lineage of the Tua, of Eru. And I actually talk about the Tua de Eru in one of my videos that really goes into depth around primordial truths of sacred Ireland, is what it's called. Eru in the cosmic mother's emerald sacred heart. So you'll find that video here on my channel in YouTube. You can check that out for more deeper contextual insights that I've received and gleaned on that. But in the sky realm, Crom is known as a flying water dragon that blessed the land. Later, it was renamed in Greek mythology as Hydra. But Crom, in its original teachings, before Greek mythology came along, the dragon is the life force or energy of the land that rises in spring and rests in autumn. So these aren't myths. These are actually encoded and hidden wisdom about the energetic forces that animate our world, both in the land and of the sky. And so many of these ancient sacred holy days, these gods and goddesses that ancestors honored, weren't figments of imagination. There's a lot of different representations. They represent cosmic gateways, star beings or stellar consciousnesses that we could say. Some even have actually walked this earthly realm. They're real beings. Others are archetypal energies representing lineages of soul families or tribes, we could say. So there's a lot of varying aspects, and also tapping into the 4 brightest royal stars as beings of consciousness, streaming or angling light frequencies or vibrations into this realm. So when we connect into the true energies of the spring equinox, among others, but we're connecting into these star intelligences that are guidance, that can serve as guides. So this is about reclaiming the truth from what has been hidden, and that is the word occult, as many of you already know, that actually means hidden. And so these wisdom codes have survived invasion and occupation for thousands of years, despite systematic attempts over and over and over to erase indigenous knowledge and wisdom of elder scrolls, we could say, manuscripts, poetry, allegories, all kinds of different ways these things have been hidden. It's never forgotten. It's just about remembering and interpreting them, looking at the energies within them. How can you connect with these energies yourself? I'll share a simple way to do that at this time, but I do have a library of resources that you can peer into if you feel called. You can see the link below. So before we close, I'll just share a little brief meditation. I just love this energy of it to tap into at the spring equinox time. Okay, so close your eyes. Breathe deeply into your body, into your being. Take 3 deep breaths at your own pace, in your own way. That's just tapping into a comfortable silence within you. Okay. Now, open your eyes. And I would like to show you these 3 flowers. We have sunflowers. We have pink yarrow. And we have dandelions. What I want you to do is just empty everything out and just draw yourself into or be called into by one of these 3 flowers. Don't question, don't even think about it, just intuitively draw yourself into or be drawn into one of the 3 flowers. And so you're connecting your spirit and energy with one of them. One of them is calling to you. And I'll explain more in a moment. So I'll just give you the count of 3 to feel into that. But again, I don't want you to think about it too hard. All right, I'm a flower essence alchemist, and this is how I like to share wisdom about the spirits of flowers, because they call to us. And they can tell us and provide to us much wisdom. Obviously, so many flowers are springing up at this time. You can look in your local region around the spring equinox in Ostara to see which ones are coming up first from the mists of the cold, or maybe even the layers of snow where you are that are melting. So if you chose sunflowers, here's some guidance that I have for you. Look into some hidden places within. Sunflowers are calling you for a reason. Sunflowers can give us a very powerful essence of self. So are there any distorted senses around your sense of self? This flower can create balance of masculine energy and integrate the strength of your higher self. For example, I could go on, but those are some high-level aspects to this. Obviously, I go in more in depth in my one-to-one vibrational medicine sessions and in the library, of course, but this is just a higher level. So again, looking at where are the areas in which perhaps you need to take more action, this energy of strength, movement, masculine energy. And a really beautiful affirmation that you can bring into your awareness is, I am a radiant being, shining with empowerment from my inner authority. So that's a beautiful affirmation that could help you if some flowers drew you in. Now, if you chose or were drawn in by the pink yarrow flowers, which I love, so these flowers create energetic boundaries. So perhaps you're needing more energetic boundaries in your life. This is very, very important for the way showers, what we call star seeds, indigos, the empathic beings in this realm, and empathic beings. It shields your being and strengthens your energetic body. You can think of it as a protective layer. So a great affirmation for you could be, I strengthen my fields with the white light of protection and am open to positive influences. So strengthening while remaining open. Now, if you chose dandelions, I love dandelions. These are coming up all over around our region. This essence, the spirit of this, the wisdom of this, of the dandelions is to, perhaps there's emotional energies that need to be released that are frozen in your muscles. Resentment is a big one. This is why dandelion is so amazing for detoxification, for example, if you drink dandelion tea, things like that. But the dandelion here is to teach perseverance through adversity, if I were to put it into a nutshell, though again, there's much more here. But a great affirmation if you were drawn into the dandelion is, I choose clear flowing communication and awareness over tensions in my life. Now, I do love the dandelion as well, because you can think of it as when you're getting all riled up in that tension, your muscles are tight. Dandelions can help also release that kind of buildup of things like resentment that actually do tighten the muscles and constrict. I also do make custom flower essence blends, so there's more information below if you want some information on that. But these are just some general wisdom that maybe you needed to be provided today. So as we close, just a reminder that connecting with these ancient wisdom traditions, it's not about performing perfect rituals and your hair doesn't have to look perfect. What it is about, it's remembering your place in the cosmic web of life. And the spring equinox, Ostara, is truly a portal where the world comes into this more balanced equilibrium. So it really brings us an opportunity to do the same, to interrupt patterns that no longer serve, to look at where can I bring in more balance. May you feel the rising dragon energy of the earth and the balance of the solar masculine and feminine within you, and the connection to all the three realms, the earth, sky, and sea. And it's a time of being able to reclaim our original connection to Earth's rhythms right now. So thank you for joining me. Please subscribe and click the notification button so that we can connect more. Thank you.